Yeah, so the first thing you have to decide is the framework that you're gonna, use to even strategically sort of identify who these candidates are, right? So the number one thing I would start with, obviously, is to look at your existing closed wins, especially in the last 2 quarters, and look at the types of companies, and then use that to create ICPs and create, very close match, right? So maybe close 99% similar to the existing opportunities that you've closed, right? Sometimes the easiest ones are, hey, we closed company X, but company A, B, and C are competitors to X. They could be really good fits also for your strategy, right? So, I mean, it really varies. And I think this is where sales and marketing needs to come to the table and say, this is what we have closed in the past. This is how other companies that are very similar to this. So it starts from there, right? Um, and then every quarter you pick a subset of those companies, and then you see what types of signals they're showing in terms of the buying cycle, right? Now you can get really fancy with this, invest in some really expensive tools in terms of identifying signals, what they're searching for. I think the data is out there in terms of how accurate that is. But you can also use signals like website visits, right? Which companies are visiting you? What types of signals are they showing? You also can look at what they're posting from a LinkedIn perspective on their company page. If they're showing, signals that they're expanding in a new territory. I mean, I think there's no like one way to say just use these three signals. It really depends on every company and the size of the company, and that's why ABM's not like there's no apply this formula and you're going to get those results, right? It's pretty customized. So once you identify based off of these signals, these are the accounts, that's when you start executing in terms of the rest of the campaign, right? But that first part is actually a super critical part. And I would say the success, probably even more than 40% of the success of the campaign will rest on that, because everything else tactical that follows from that strategic sort of decision in the beginning that you make is going to be affected. So I think I would spend a lot of time thinking about that, because once you have it in motion in terms of the first couple of ABM campaigns, then you have a flywheel effect going on, because then you can keep taking, customers that you've closed and keep feeding that to the next set of campaigns.
Funnels and metrics, watch them converge. Data and insight where the truths emerge. Pressure like bullets, sharp and fleet. Marketing game strong, you can't be beat.